Picture this scenario because I guarantee it has happened to you in the last 6 months. You're sitting at your kitchen table. You finally opened your bank statement, which you've been avoiding for weeks. And there it is, buried on page 3 in tiny 8-point font. A $12 monthly maintenance fee, a $3 ATM charge, a $35 overdraft fee for a transaction that went through while your paycheck was still pending. Your blood pressure spikes. You feel that familiar knot in your stomach. These aren't purchases you made. These aren't investments gone wrong. These are fees. Charges for the privilege of letting a bank hold your own money. And here's the part that should make you furious. That $12 monthly fee you've been paying for 3 years without noticing? That's not $12. When you account for compound interest and opportunity cost, that seemingly innocent fee has stolen thousands of dollars from your future. You think you're just paying a small convenience charge, but mathematically, you're funding the bank's profit margin while they systematically extract wealth from your account, like a slow financial bleed you can't even see. My name is Bobby, and I have spent an unhealthy amount of time reverse engineering the predatory fee structures that banks use to quietly rob everyday people while staying completely legal. If you've ever looked at your savings account and wondered why it never seems to grow, or if you're tired of feeling nickel and dimed every time you check your balance, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Because today we're not talking about investing strategies or crypto. We're talking about a silent wealth transfer that's happening right now, in real time, from your account to the bank's balance sheet. We're going to expose the sneaky bank fees that are stealing your financial future. And I need to warn you, once you see how this system actually works, you'll never trust a bank statement again. Here's the foundational lie that the banking industry has convinced us to accept. We believe that banks are doing us a favor by holding our money. We think of them as neutral custodians, safe keepers of our hard-earned cash. But that's not what's happening. Banks are businesses. And like any business, their goal is to extract maximum profit from their customers. The difference is that most businesses are transparent about what they're selling. You buy a sandwich, you pay for a sandwich. But banks have perfected the art of hidden extraction. They've created an entire ecosystem of fees that are designed to be just small enough that you won't close your account, but large enough that collectively they generate billions in pure profit. Let's break down the anatomy of these predatory charges, starting with the most common offender, the monthly maintenance fee. This is the fee banks charge you for the privilege of having a checking account. Think about how insane that is for a second. You give the bank your money. They take that money and loan it out to other people at interest rates of 5%, 7%, sometimes 20% on credit cards. They make enormous profits from your deposits. And then they charge you a monthly fee for letting them use your money to make money. It's like paying someone to borrow your car so they can drive for Uber and keep all the earnings. The average monthly maintenance fee in America is around $15. That doesn't sound catastrophic, right? It's less than a couple of lattes. But let's do the math that banks hope you never do. $15 a month is $180 a year. Over 10 years, that's $1,800 in fees alone. But here's where it gets truly criminal. If instead of paying that fee, you invested that $15 a month in a basic index fund earning a conservative 7% annual return, after 10 years you wouldn't have just saved $1,800. You'd have $2,600. After 20 years, nearly $7,800. After 30 years, over $18,000. That monthly maintenance fee isn't costing you $15. It's costing you your financial independence. It's the down payment on a house you'll never make. It's the retirement cushion you'll never have. And the bank knows this. They're counting on you not doing this math. But maintenance fees are just the beginning. Let's talk about overdraft fees, which are arguably the most predatory weapon in the bank's arsenal. Here's how the scam works. You have $50 in your account. You buy a $4 coffee in the morning. Then you buy a $10 lunch. Then you buy $8 worth of groceries. Then your $40 gym membership auto charges. Seems fine, right? You spent $62 and you're $12 short. You expect to pay one overdraft fee, probably around $35, which is already absurd. But here's the trick. Banks process transactions in whatever order maximizes fees. They'll process that $40 gym charge first, overdrawing your account. Then they'll process the coffee, another $35 fee. Then the lunch, another $35 fee. Then the groceries, another $35 fee. You went $12 over your balance. and suddenly you owe $140 in fees. This isn't an accident. This isn't a computer glitch. Banks were sued for this practice, and many were forced to change their policies, but the fees remain astronomical. In 2023, American banks collected over $8 billion in overdraft fees. That's $8 billion extracted from people who, by definition, didn't have enough money in their accounts. The bank is literally charging poor people for being poor. It's a poverty tax dressed up as a service fee. Then there are ATM fees, the double-dipping scam that should be illegal. You go to an out-of-network ATM because you need cash. The ATM owner charges you $3. Then your own bank charges you another $3 for using someone else's machine. You just paid $6 to access your own money. If you do this twice a month, that's $144 a year. Over a decade, invested at 7%, that's over $2,500 stolen from your future. And let's not forget the minimum balance fees, where banks charge you for not keeping enough money in your account. Think about the cruelty of that design. If you're struggling financially and your balance dips below their arbitrary threshold, they punish you by taking more of your money. It's like charging someone extra for groceries because they can't afford to buy in bulk. The system is designed to keep poor people poor. But here's what makes me genuinely angry. These fees are completely avoidable for the bank. The actual cost to a bank of maintaining your checking account is virtually zero. Everything is digital. There's no paper. There are no tellers counting your coins. The marginal cost of your account existing is pennies per year. But they charge you hundreds because they can. Because the system is designed to be confusing. Because they bury the fee schedule in 40 pages of legal documents that nobody reads. Because they're betting you won't do the math, won't compare alternatives, and won't fight back. And for the majority of customers, that bet pays off. We accept these fees as the cost of modern life, the same way we accept traffic or taxes. But unlike traffic and taxes, bank fees are completely optional. You just have to know how to avoid them. So let's talk about the solution, because this isn't just a rant. This is a tactical guide to stopping the bleeding. First, you need to switch to a no-fee bank account immediately. There are dozens of online banks and credit unions that charge zero monthly maintenance fees, zero overdraft fees, and reimburse ATM fees. Ally Bank, Chime, Capital One 360, Marcus, these are not sketchy operations. They're legitimate institutions that have simply chosen a different business model. They make money from interest and interchange fees, not by gouging their customers. The reason traditional banks can charge fees is because they have physical branches, which are expensive. But here's the secret. You probably haven't walked into a bank branch in years. You do everything on your phone anyway. So why are you paying for a branch network you don't use? Switching banks sounds intimidating. You have direct deposits, auto pays, linked accounts. But it takes maybe 2 hours of your time. 2 hours to save hundreds or thousands of dollars per year. That's a return on investment of potentially $100 per hour of effort. You wouldn't turn down a job that paid $100 an hour. Don't turn down this opportunity. Second, you need to opt out of overdraft protection. This sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. Overdraft protection is the bank's friendly-sounding name for a loan you didn't ask for at an interest rate that would make a mobster blush. When you opt out, your card simply gets declined if you don't have enough money. Yes, it's embarrassing for 3 seconds at the register. But it's not $35 embarrassing. It's not $140 in cascading fees embarrassing. A declined card is free feedback that you need to check your balance. An overdraft fee is an expensive punishment. Choose the free option. Third, set up account alerts. Every bank offers text or email notifications when your balance drops below a certain threshold. Set that threshold at $100 or whatever number gives you a buffer. This one simple automation can save you hundreds in fees per year. It takes 60 seconds to set up. There's no excuse not to do it. Fourth, use your bank's ATM network or get a bank that reimburses all ATM fees. If you're paying $6 every time you need cash, you're volunteering to be robbed. There are free alternatives. Use them. But here's the deeper principle that will change your relationship with money. You need to start thinking of bank fees the same way you think of fraud. If someone reached into your wallet and took $15 without asking, you'd call the police. But when a bank does it with a maintenance fee, you shrug. That cognitive dissonance is what the banking industry depends on. They've normalized theft by calling it a fee. Stop normalizing it. Get angry. Take action. Your money is your life energy converted into currency. Every dollar you've earned represents time you sold, effort you expended, stress you endured. When a bank takes that money as a fee for doing basically nothing, they're stealing your life. They're taking hours of your existence and converting them into profit for shareholders. That should make you furious. Here's what I want you to do this weekend. Pull up your last 3 months of bank statements. Go through every line. Add up every fee you've been charged. Maintenance, overdraft, ATM, minimum balance, wire transfer, all of it. Write that number down. Then multiply it by 12 to get your annual fee burden. Then go to a compound interest calculator online and see what that annual amount would be worth in 10, 20, 30 years if you invested it instead of giving it to the bank. That number you're looking at? That's what your bank is stealing from your future. That's the vacation you won't take. That's the emergency fund you won't have. That's the financial security that's being siphoned away $12 at a time. The banking industry has spent decades perfecting the art of invisible extraction. They've hired psychologists and behavioral economists to figure out exactly how much they can take before you notice or care enough to leave. They've designed a system where the fees are just annoying enough to complain about, but not quite painful enough to motivate action. But you're not average. You're someone who watches videos about personal finance on the internet. You're someone who cares enough to optimize. Don't let laziness or inertia cost you thousands of dollars. Switching to a no-fee bank account is one of the highest return-on-time investments you can make. It's not sexy, it won't make you rich, but it will stop making you poor. And in personal finance, not losing money is often more important than making money. Cut the fees. Keep your wealth. Compound your future. If this video made you check your bank statement, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. We're all getting quietly robbed. Let's stop it together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.